because today's a Thursday, we'll sit from 2 o'clock till 6 o'clock and start off with a statement from the Leader of the House about what the business is going to be next week. Then we'll go on to questions. Paula Bennett to the Prime Minister, likely to be Winston Peters acting for the Prime Minister about the government statements and actions. Similar question from Paul Goldsmith to the Minister of Finance. Greg O'Connor will ask the Minister of Finance about the economy. Jamie Lee Ross has an interesting question to the Minister of Foreign Affairs about foreign interference activities in New Zealand from foreign state actors. Michael Woodhouse to the Minister of Health about what the opposition can do to help the population in New Zealand with coronavirus. Kiritapu Allen to the Minister for Economic Development about business support resulting from the COVID-19. Chris Bishop to the Minister of Transport about the Auckland Light Rail. Nikki Kay about coronavirus and the education sector. Derek Ball to the Minister of Defence about capability projects. Judith Collins to the Minister of Housing about progressive home ownership. Jonathan Young to the Minister of Energy and Resources about security of power supply over the weekend. And Angie Warren-Clark to the Minister of Health about the COVID-19 coronavirus. We'll then go on to the Prime Minister's statement. Today will be the last day for debate on that statement. There's about an hour and a half left in that debate, so it'll run from roughly 3 till 4:30. The Screen Industry Workers Bill is partway through its first reading. That will continue. And then the House will get on to the Greater Christchurch Regeneration Amendment Bill. That may or may not get through its first reading. We're back again next Tuesday.